always thought birthdays were supposed to make you feel loved. But on the night before I turned 18, my family uninvited me from my own celebration. They said I made everyone uncomfortable. I cried myself to sleep. What I didn't know was that Grandma had changed her will and I was the only one she trusted. My name is Maya Collins. And I remember the exact moment the air left my body. I walked into the kitchen expecting the usual birthday buzz, expecting maybe a cake on the counter or at least someone pretending to care. Instead, I heard my mom whisper, "Honestly, Maya ruins everything," and Chloe giggling in agreement. I froze in the doorway. What are you talking about? Mom spun around with this annoyed look like I had interrupted something important. "We're having a small dinner," she said. "Just family." "I am family," I said. "It's my birthday." Dad didn't even look at me. He kept scrolling on his phone like I wasn't worth lifting his eyes for. Chloe smirked and said, "Maybe don't be so sensitive. It's not a big deal." "Not a big deal?" I asked. "You're uninviting me from my own birthday dinner." Mom sighed the way she always does when she thinks I'm being dramatic. "We just want a peaceful night, Maya, so I make things unpeaceful?" I asked, my voice cracking. Chloe laughed. Yeah, you always do." I stared at her. What did I even do? Dad finally spoke. "Can we not do this? Let your mother decide the plans." I stepped closer to the table. "Can someone please just explain why I'm not wanted there?" Mom put her hands on her hips. "Because you always make everything about you." "It's my birthday," I said. "How am I making it about me?" She rolled her eyes. "There you go again." I felt something sting behind my eyes. "Mom, please. Just tell me what I did wrong." "You exist," Chloe muttered under her breath. "Chloe," I snapped. "That's not funny," Dad groaned. "See, always starting arguments." "I'm not starting anything," I said. "I'm trying to understand why you're excluding me." Mom grabbed a dish towel. "We don't need to explain ourselves. We decided on a quiet dinner without drama." I shook my head. "So the drama is me?" Mom waved me off. "Just go to your room, Maya. We'll celebrate with you another day." "No," I said. "You've canceled on me the last 3 years. Now you're uninviting me completely." Chloe rolled her eyes. "Maya, no one cares this much about birthdays. Grow up. You had a whole hotel party last year," I said. "But my birthday isn't important." Chloe shrugged. "That's different." "How?" I asked. Dad stood up. "Enough. Your sister's event was special, and mine isn't," I whispered. Mom's single quotes S voice went cold. "Stop making a scene." "I'm not making a scene," I said. "I'm asking for basic respect." Mom turned her back on me. "We're done talking about this, but go," she snapped, "before you ruin the evening even more." I felt something collapse inside me. I backed out of the kitchen, slowly, waiting, hoping for someone to call me back. They didn't. I heard Mom laugh, then Chloe, then chairs dragging across the floor. I heard their plans like knives scraping glass. "Let's get that Italian place," Mom said. "Should we invite Aunt Karen?" Chloe asked. Dad said, "Yes, but not Maya. She'll make it weird." I ran upstairs before they could hear me cry. I shut my bedroom door, pressed my back against it, and slid to the floor. My hands shook as I covered my face. "How did I become the problem?" I whispered. "What did I do wrong?" I stared at the ceiling for what felt like hours. Every thought spiraled into another. Why did they hate me so easily? Why was Chloe always the favorite? Why did I feel like I didn't belong in my own home? When I went downstairs later, the house was dark. They had left without saying goodbye. No note, no happy birthday, nothing. I sat at the empty kitchen table and whispered to myself, "I'm not worth a seat at my own birthday dinner." My phone buzzed with a message from Chloe. "Don't wait up, we're out late, try not to be weird about it." I turned my phone face down. I couldn't read another word. In the silence, something inside me shifted. Not strength, not anger, just a deep, cold numbness. It wrapped around me like a blanket I didn't choose. I curled my knees to my chest and let the tears fall. The worst part wasn't being uninvited. The worst part was realizing they didn't even feel bad. As I lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, I whispered into the dark, "If my own family doesn't want me, who will?" I didn't know it then, but the answer was coming. And it would change everything. My phone rang early the next morning, dragging me out of the kind of sleep that feels more like drowning. I saw the caller ID and whispered, "Grandma." I answered with a shaky voice, "Hi, Grandma." She didn't waste a second. "Maya, sweetheart, why didn't you come to your birthday dinner?" I waited all night to hear how it went. My throat tightened. There wasn't a dinner for me. "What do you mean?" she asked sharply. "They uninvited me," I said. "They said it was just family." There was a long pause, a heavy breath, and then, "Come over now, Grandma." No excuses, she snapped. "Get dressed and come." Her voice wasn't angry at me. It was angry for me. That alone made my chest ache with relief. When she opened the door, she didn't smile, she just pulled me inside. and whispered, "Tell me everything." I tried to be strong, but my voice broke immediately. They didn't want me there, they said I ruin everything. She led me to the couch, sat beside me, and held my hands. "Start from the beginning." So I did. I told her about the whispers, the way Mom looked at me like I wasn't human, the way Dad stayed silent, the way Chloe mocked me like I was a joke. I told her about eating alone at the empty table, the quiet house mocking me, the tears I couldn't stop. When I finished, I choked out, "I don't know why they hate me so much." She squeezed my hands tighter. "Look at me," she said firmly. I lifted my eyes. "You are not the problem," she said. "They are." I shook my head. "It's always been like this. Chloe gets everything, I get left out," she sighed. "I know, and I'm sorry you've had to endure it." I swallowed hard. "You knew." "Of course I knew," she said. "I've watched it for years. I tried to talk to your mother, but she always pushed me away." "Why didn't you say anything to me?" I whispered. "Because you never complained," she said. "You tried so hard to pretend you were fine." "I wasn't," I whispered. "I'm not." She wrapped an arm around me, and the moment her hand touched my shoulder, I burst into full-on sobs. I cried into her sweater until my head ached. She stroked my hair and murmured, "Let it out, sweetheart, let it out." When I finally pulled away, wiping my face, she took a long breath and said, "I wasn't going to tell you this yet, but I think you need to know." "Know what?" I asked. She stood up slowly, walked to the little drawer under the TV and pulled out a thick envelope. She handed it to me. "This is a copy of my will." I blinked. "Your will?" "Yes," she said. "I changed it months ago." My heart thudded. "Why are you showing me this?" "Open it." My hands trembled. As I slid the papers out, I skimmed the first few lines. Legal language, names, signatures, and then I saw it. Everything. Every asset. Every property. Every account. All listed under my name. My mouth fell open. "Grandma, what is this?" "My decision," she said quietly. "But why me?" She sat across from me, her eyes shining. "Because you are the only one who visits me. The only one who talks to me like a human being. The only one who doesn't treat me like an obligation." I shook my head. "I didn't do anything special," she smiled sadly. "You did everything special. You cared. That's more than your parents or Chloe have done in years." "But won't they be mad?" I whispered. "Oh, they will be furious," she said. "And that's exactly why I didn't want you telling them yet." "Grandma, I don't need all this," I said. "I just needed love." She finished softly. I nodded, tears filling my eyes again. "Yes, you have mine," she said. "And you deserve far better than how they treat you." I stared at the will again. "Why didn't you wait to tell me later?" "Because," she said, cupping my cheek, "what they did last night proves something to me. They don't value you. They don't protect you. They don't see your worth, but I do, and one day, this will protect you in ways you can't imagine yet." I swallowed hard. "This feels huge." "It is," she said, "and it will change everything." "But why not tell them now?" I asked. She smirked. "Because when people show you who they are, you let them, and then you watch what they do when the truth comes out." A chill ran through me. "I'm scared." "I know," she said, "but you won't be alone." I clutched the envelope against my chest. "Thank you for trusting me." She brushed a tear from my cheek. "You're the only one who ever earned it." I didn't fully understand her warning then, but I would. Very soon. The week after Grandma told me about the will, my life fell apart again, this time in a way I never saw coming. I was at school when my phone lit up with Dad's number. I answered fast, thinking something small had happened. His voice was flat. "Your grandmother collapsed. They took her to the hospital." My knees went weak. "Is she okay?" "What happened?" "She was in the garden," he said. "Just get here." I didn't hear the rest. I ran out of the building, breath burning in my chest. By the time I reached the hospital, Chloe was sitting in the waiting room scrolling on her phone, looking annoyed. I rushed to her. "Where is she?" She didn't look up. "Room 214. "But, Maya, she's already gone." My heart cracked. No, Chloe, that's not funny." "I'm not joking," she said coldly. "She died before Mom even got here." I stumbled backward, until my back hit the wall. "She can't be gone. She can't." Mom walked out of the hallway with dry eyes and said, "Stop crying. You're making it awkward." I stared at her. She was the only person who cared about me. Mom crossed her arms. "That's dramatic." "She cared about all of us." Chloe shrugged. "Sure." I felt myself shaking. "No, she cared about me. She told me things she never told you." Mom's eyes sharpened. "What kind of things?" I swallowed. "Nothing you'd care about." Dad joined them. "We'll talk later. Right now, just behave." "Maya, they didn't hug me. They didn't comfort me. They didn't even look sad. But suddenly they were gentle. Chloe offered to drive me home. Dad asked if I wanted dinner. Mom asked if I needed tea. Their voices were soft in a way I'd never heard before. It wasn't love. It was strategy. I felt it. Something was off, not grief, not concern, something colder. 3 days later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Hello, hi. Asked, a deep voice answered, is this Maya Collins? Yes, my name is Mr. Henson. I'm your grandmother Eleanor's attorney. She scheduled a meeting with your family regarding her will. I need you present. My stomach twisted. They don't know I'm included. A pause. They will. The lawyer's office smelled like old paper and lemon polish. My parents sat stiffly. Chloe filed her nails. I sat alone on the opposite side of the table. Mer. Henson cleared his throat. Eleanor made significant changes to her will several months ago. Mom smiled to wide. Yes. Of course, she always said she wanted everything kept in the family. She did, he replied. Which is why she left her entire estate to her granddaughter Maya. Dead silence. Then everything exploded. Mom slapped the table. No, 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 that has to be wrong. Dad's face turned red. My mother would never do that. Chloe pointed at me with shaking hands. She manipulated Grandma. She must have. I sat frozen. My hands clenched in my lap. Henson continued. She left a letter explaining her decision. Would you like me to read it? Mom snapped. Absolutely not. This is ridiculous. This has to be illegal. It's perfectly legal, he said calmly. Your daughter is the sole beneficiary. Mom's voice dropped into a hiss. She doesn't deserve it. Dad glared at me. You think you can just take everything? I finally found my voice. I didn't take anything. She gave it to me. Chloe scoffed. You, Grandma chose you for what? For being there, I said softly. For loving her. Mom sneered. You probably guilt-tripped her. Mr. Henson stood. This meeting is over, Maya. I'll send the paperwork. As soon as we stepped outside, my parents surrounded me. Chloe blocked the exit like a guard. Mom leaned in, smiling like a predator. Just sign everything to us, honey. You know you're too young to handle it. Chloe added. Do the right thing. You don't even want that stuff. I shook my head. No. Dad slammed his fist on the roof of the car, making me jump. We raised you. You owe us. My voice came out steadier than I felt. I don't owe you my life. Mom grabbed my arm. You're being ungrateful. You were ungrateful first, I said quietly. You uninvited me from my own birthday. Chloe rolled her eyes. You're still on that? Yes, I said. Because it showed me exactly who you are. Mom's face twisted. If you don't sign the inheritance over, what? I asked. You'll kick me out, ignore me, stop loving me? Dad opened his mouth, then closed it. I stared at all of them and felt something I'd never felt before. Clarity. You don't want me, I said. You want Grandma's money. Mom's mask cracked. You selfish. No, I said. I'm done being your punching bag. I walked away while they yelled behind me. For once, their voices didn't control me. My legs were shaking. But my heart felt stronger than it ever had. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't begging for their love. They were begging for something from me. And they weren't going to get it. I didn't go home after the parking lot confrontation. I went straight to Eleanor's house. She opened the door and said, Holy crap, Maya. What happened? You look like you ran through a storm. I kind of did. I whispered, can I stay here? She pulled me inside. For as long as you want. That night, I lay on her couch clutching a blanket while she sat beside me. She asked, are they really trying to take everything? They don't care about me, I said. Just the money. She touched my shoulder gently. Then let them lose you. A week later, Mom showed up at Eleanor's door. I heard her voice downstairs. Maya, sweetheart, can we talk? We miss you. I stood at the top of the stairs. What do you want? She smiled too quickly. To fix things. To be a family again. You want the inheritance, I said. Her smile cracked. That money could help all of us. You're being unfair. I stepped down one stair. Unfair, like uninviting me from my own birthday. She flushed. You always exaggerate. No, I said. You always pretend. Her voice dropped. Please, baby. We need you. I know, I said, but not for the reason you pretend. She swallowed hard. So you won't sign anything? No, her jaw clenched. Then you're choosing this stranger. She pointed at Elena. Over your own family. I looked at Elena, then back at her. I'm choosing myself. Mom's face twisted with something between rage and desperation. You'll regret this. I shook my head. Maybe you will. She didn't say goodbye. She just stormed off. Elena walked up behind me. You okay? Yeah, I said quietly for the first time. Yeah, months passed. I started therapy. I worked part-time. I saved money. I breathed without feeling guilty for existing. And my family's shiny reputation shattered. Neighbors whispered. Relatives asked questions. My parents avoided eye contact in public. Elena told me. Karma's loud this year. I said I didn't want revenge. I know, she replied, but the universe apparently did. One morning, I woke up to a long message from Mom. We're sorry, we didn't mean to hurt you. You don't know how much we need you, please. Come home, please forgive us. I read it twice. Then a third time, Elena asked, Are you gonna answer? I shook my head, no, not out of anger, just peace. She nodded, that's growth. A week later, I visited Grandma's grave alone. The trees rustled softly like they were greeting me. I knelt down and whispered, I'm okay now. Thank you for seeing me when no one else did. A tear slipped down my cheek, but it wasn't grief anymore. It was gratitude. I stood up, brushed off my jeans, and walked back toward the path with a steady heart. For the first time in my life, I wasn't defined by what my family denied me. I was defined by what I finally gave myself. Peace. Strength. And a future they could never take.